Wells National Estuarine Research Reserve in Wells, Maine. I'm here to talk to Paige Rutherford about the reserve and her job here. Why don't you come meet her with me? Hi, Paige.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us today.
Yes.
Let's find a place to talk and get started, shall we? Great. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great. I'm Paige Rutherford, and I live in Wells, Maine. I also work in Wells, Maine. And I am the Interpretive Education Associate at the Wells Reserve. And I am a sea kayak guide, which is what I did before coming to the reserve. And I've also been an outdoor educator in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, as well as a naturalist in my home state of Oklahoma.
How long have you been at the reserve?
I've been here for over a year now. I have many hats that I wear here, which is really nice. I like a lot of different things, so it's nice to have that variety. But the main focus of my position is to coordinate school programs, field trips, and special programs, all the way from K through Gray, as we like to say. I also coordinate our docents. They are volunteers that we train on certain topics, and then they actually lead the programs for the general public or for schools.
Wells Reserve's primary mission is to protect estuaries. Estuaries are where rivers meet the sea, in other words, where fresh water meets salt water. There are three parts to the Wells Reserve mission: research, education, and stewardship. Let's take a look at some of the things Paige does as part of her job here.
Okay, great. So we're in the docent room, and this is the room where our volunteers that are trained come in and get ready to take out programs, either for schools or guided walks. This is our bar and classroom, and the kids come in, and if there's bad weather, they'll spend a little more time in here, or if it's not bad weather, they'll just use it for dropping off materials and such. So just depending on the program is how often it's used, but it's used every week for some kind of program. So now we're in our Coastal Ecology Center, and this is a space that is an exhibit space open to the public, and it's really focused on our research that we do here, and just a little bit about estuaries, so people get leave the sense of what an estuary is and why we're protecting it and doing research on it. So this is our teaching lab, and it's a working lab, but for most of the time we use it for programs, education programs. And yesterday actually we just had 7th graders in here doing Microscopic Marvels program, where they researched plankton. And one big part of my job is to take people out on the trails, and we have 7 miles of trails, and it's a really fun part of my job, one of my favorites. So now we're out on our floating lab, and this is where a lot of field trips come to get to have a nice up-close experience with the estuary. Have all different ages come out, and they just get to either do bird watching out here. If they're in the school program, they're probably going to be doing salinity tests, looking at the composition of peat, looking at the different levels of the water when the tide changes. So really just give them a great overview of the estuary and enjoy it as well. So it's nice to be able to enjoy science.
Paige, what inspired you to become involved in this kind of work?
Well, I'm a very curious person, and I just grew up climbing trees and exploring, and also reading a lot. When I got to college, I took every opportunity to get involved in community projects, started working outside with groups of people and engaging with them and having them engage with their space and place, and just found it really rewarding. So.
Did you ever envision yourself this involved in science?
I didn't, no. I'm very much a generalist. I was always interested in ecology and science and different areas, but I was also very much an artist. But I did know I wanted to work outside, I wanted to be moving, and I wanted to be learning as well as teaching others, because that's the best way to learn, I think.
Paige is very lucky. She has a job where she gets to combine her passion for the outdoors, her love of ecology, and her creativity. Landing a job like this isn't all luck, though. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. Alexander Graham Bell said that. He He's the guy who invented the telephone. So I asked Paige what she did to prepare herself to have a job like this, and what skills and traits are important to be successful at it.
Definitely through my school, the choices and classes that I took, choosing topics to study that you actually like, volunteered quite a bit. So a combination of a volunteer, of school, and also the places I've chosen to work. This job in particular, it's a science education position, and we work with the public a lot, so you have to be friendly, you have to be ready to chat with people, take time to value them. Also, you have to do some reading and stay on top of current issues. It's very important to be a science translator and interpreter.
So you can help them connect things.
Exactly, yeah, making those connections is very important.
I bet if you saw Paige on the street, you'd never guess she has a career in science. Here's something fun to try at home. Ask someone you know to draw a picture of a scientist. What would you draw? Most people will draw a guy in a lab coat, glasses, crazy hair, maybe beakers and stuff around. Most of the time we think of scientists as working at lab benches indoors all day, but you can do all kinds of things if you love science. Just look at Paige. And scientists don't live in labs either. They're real people, like you and me. And Paige, I wonder what Paige does for fun. I'm going to ask you a series of questions that have absolutely nothing to do with your job.
Right.
You feeling ready?
Yes.
All right. What do you do for fun?
I go hiking, biking, kayaking. I also love to go to movies and explore.
What was your favorite class ever in school?
AP Art.
Who was your most memorable teacher?
Mrs. Murray. She was very passionate about her subject, so much so that she would throw chalk across the room.
Have you ever had any pets?
Yes, I have a Maine Coon cat named Spoons.
What was your very first job ever?
It was actually at a fast food restaurant.
What's your favorite sports team?
Oh, I'm going to go with the Portland Pirates.
If you could be any animal, which one would you be?
An otter. I love being in the water in any capacity.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, many, many things.
Well, thank you, Paige, for taking time to talk to us today. I had a really great time hearing about your job here at Wells Reserve.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming and sharing this place.
I hope you had a good time too, and I hope you'll join us for our next podcast. Until then, enjoy exploring Earth systems. I'm going to do some exploring of my own. The EaSiE project is a Maine Mathematics and Science Alliance initiative funded by the NOAA Environmental Literacy Program for K-12 education.